and Facebook. I'm here. I made it. Sarasota to Syracuse. And welcome, welcome, welcome. How's everyone doing tonight? Whew, what a day. Hope all's having a wonderful, awesome, and amazing day today. And let's see, can everyone hear me? I had this trouble last week. I don't know why, but here I am. Let's see, we do have fire on. Let's see, sometimes I have to adjust me and all of this and adjust everything. And hey, Patty. Hey, Will, how you doing? Tiffany, Patty, hello, hello, hello. Clarissa, how you doing? Let's see. My Thanksgiving was awesome. Thank you very, very, very much. Miss T and I spent a really great time together. And I am so grateful and thankful to everyone. And I feel so blessed and lucky in my life. All right? Let's see here. Let me move. There we go. Fire, fire, fire. Hey, Mandy Flores, how you doing? Amit Tal, hello. Nails at Flowers, hi, hi. And it really, I look forward to meeting everyone, by the way. And even though I don't get a chance to meet everyone, Dr. Corley, Dr. Ditkoff, Dr. Grossman, Dr. Luthger, Dr. Rudialis, Dr. Faruqi, Dr. Chang, all of us together and all our practitioners and everyone. And we sometimes have to take a breath and slow it down, by the way. And you know me, Mr. Hyperactive Attention Deficit. My mother used to have my brother and I on leashes. Today it wouldn't go over so well, but Maria V was awesome and amazing and so blessed every single day. Hey, Natalie, Mary Annette, hello. Michelle, how are you doing? Wilson, let's see, 43 use own eggs or donor. Hey, Christina. You know, you can do either way. You can start with your own eggs. We'll do everything we can to help with that. You know, I talk about how to manipulate what goes on within our bodies by reducing inflammation. Keto, and Kiltz's keto is the baby diet, bacon, eggs, butter, beef. Keep the ice cream to a minimum, by the way, right? Not too much. And remember, I'm not a big exercise fan, unless you're trying to bulk up and look like you know what, but yoga, acupuncture, meditation, prayer, visualization. Go on a light bike ride, right? Light weights, right? And don't forget Miss Maria Emmerich, who's got Keto Magazine, Keto Carnivore coming out in January. You go on Amazon, you can pre-buy her magazine, by the way. 10 days post 5-day transfer, cramping a bit, especially in the morning. Little bit sometimes can be normal. This cramping, a lot's going on in there for all of us. But once you've had either retrieval or transfer, even a lot more is heating up, by the way. Endometriosis is left untreated. Will IVF still work, or will the endometriosis prevent implantation? Natalie Watson, good question. For some people, fibroids, endometriosis, adenomyosis, visible inflammation may affect implantation, natural conception. I've seen so many suddenly go in there, do a diagnostic laparoscopy, hysteroscopy, remove endometriosis, and voila, pregnancy happens. So, you know, don't be afraid to look inside, talk to your gynecologist. One of our physicians can help with that. We'll be glad to chat with your OBGYNs, your gynecologist, your fertility docs. I really think that the laparoscopy, hysteroscopy can be very, very, very helpful. But you're not doing it, don't forget a month or two of letrozole 5 milligrams with Orlissa 200 milligrams once a day, or Lupron 375 for 2 months can be very helpful in reducing a lot of that. Remember, the cause of inflammation is plants. Plants are trying to kill us, attack us, cause damage, oxalate crystals. I've been reading some stuff on Sally Norton, and there's another one, I think it's either Susan Owens, on oxalate crystals. Oxalic acid combines with all sorts of things and causes damage in our body, causes calcium to be malabsorbed. Sodium, potassium, and calcium oxalates are deadly and dangerous. And where are they at? They're in fruits and vegetables and seeds and nuts. Sweet potatoes, not good for us, by the way. So it's kind of interesting how we're finding so much inflammation caused by what we eat, which is not good for us. Let's see, Agir007, Mrs. VSG, hello. From Justice to You, hello. Opinion, let's see, what's your opinion on people taking Adderall, going to be doing IVF and currently taking Adderall? You know, any of these drugs are probably not good for us or our babies, and this is where keto comes in, but try low-dose naltrexone. Another interesting one, as my glasses are a little bit dirty, and you know, remember, I'm not here to say stop your drugs right away, talk to your doctor. I think it's real important. I think when you look more and more at the keto, either vegan, vegetarian, and remember, if you're vegan, vegetarian, you got to really, really soak many of your seeds and nuts and legumes for days and then pressure cook them in order to kill a lot of that bacteria and yeast, but the phytochemicals and the oxalates. Look up oxalates. I used to have kidney stones and arthritis and dermatitis and migraines, all gone since I've primarily been carnivore for over almost 8 years now. It's really been amazing. And I know I've been talking about it with Maria, and now Maria's got a great recipe. And Ken Berry, gotta check out Ken Berry. The lies that we've all been told, but Ken's awesome. He's got some really great stuff. And Ken is now carnivore. Love to see others joining in. But again, if you're vegan or vegetarian, don't forget coconut oil, hemp seed oil, but you got to really cook those carbs and soak them. Minimize the complex carbs. It's really going to help a lot, by the way. So let's see. Navita Casey, helped to get pregnant after 6 years with a miscarriage. Look to IVF, a way to get natural. Please reply. Sure. Oh, good question. Remember, inflammation in our bodies due to a high plant-based diet. The top predator in the universe are plants. They know how to attract us to be eaten to help them reproduce or to help them basically protect themselves from an herbivore, which we're not. But too many herbivores eating plants, they know how to kill us, damage us, ruin our reproduction, both male and female side. It doesn't make sense, but just look at the effects of phytochemicals on our body, by the way. But I think that low-dose naltrexone, a CBD oil, aspirin, a lot of the autoimmune diseases, and there are agglutinins, which basically cause red blood cells to coagulate and cause blood clots and strokes, especially in the small vessels, which I think are the leading cause of a lot of miscarriages. And remember, a lot of insecticides that human beings make cause miscarriage and damage to our bodies, including likely cancer. But guess what? Plants make insecticides for the biggest insect of the universe, which is us, and it too doesn't want to be eaten. You know that, right? How's everyone doing tonight? Hope everyone had a great weekend. Let's see. Hey, Cheryl, Brandon, DC, how you guys doing? I did make it. I did a little bit of a quick live from Sarasota at the beach. Just past St. Armand Circle. I did a little coffee with Kiltz down there. And, I love upstate New York. It's beautiful. And it's easy to travel here. The airports are almost always open. And we have the most affordable stuff you could ever imagine, by the way. And lots of baby dust for all of us. We need it. Mostly it's about reducing inflammation, right? Increasing blood flow at every level. And this is why I recommend no heavy, heat up, sweaty exercise, because it heats up the core and damages your DNA, both eggs, sperm, and embryos, by the way. Lagu3RA83, hello. Jessica Yarbrough, hello. All right, let's see here. Push for immunity testing NK cells, MTHFR, 41, hypothyroid, PCOS, one previous pregnancy, mono twins, miscarriage 7 weeks. Now, you can do all the testing, but inflammation is the cause of all of our diseases, and infertility or repetitive losses is just another disease, right? So although it's a little conflicting, NK cells up or lower, but basically inflammation. And MTHFR, remember, it's not the cause, but in the wrong environment because of a high inflammatory, high plant-based, a low-fat diet, basically that's the trigger for these. And treatments, methylfolate, aspirin, steroids, Lovenox, heparin, and Kiltz's keto is carnivore, but Kiltz's keto that is non-carnivore for vegans and vegetarians, remember, hemp seed oil, coconut oil. I'm not a big fan of olive oil and other plant-based oils. Basically, they're not good for us. They cause the mitochondrial damage, which basically is so bad for us. And I've been really watching a lot of great videos on inflammation, on the macular degeneration. My mother Maria suffered. Now I'm learning it's a low-fat, high-carb, plant-based diet that is not really what we were bred to be 20, 100,000 years ago, right? But you can do the testing, but the treatment is still going to be the same, my friends. And I know, don't forget, laparoscopy, seroscopy for endo. Hello, LogU3A. All right, 14 weeks of miracles. Remember, miracles are the things that happen that God has created for all of us. And I know for me, I focus a lot on my faith, that higher power. Find something to believe in a positive way, whether it's Christianity, Islam, Buddha, whether you're an atheist, but you have a power and spirit of belief in the higher power, which was within all of us. Because you know when someone says, I love you, and they caress you and they hold you, our body feels better. Cortisol and epinephrine, like they're just become the losers. Serotonin and oxytocin, those are the healing energies that are so important and critical for our bodies, by the way. Hey, Yulia, how you doing? Jenny, Ronia Turner. And God loves you, by the way. God loves all of us. And I know sometimes we think, oh no, God doesn't like us. But remember, this is where prayer, meditation, journaling every day. And I'm always looking for a book, some book that is going to bring me some spiritual positivity, because it is hard out there. This is all really, really hard and challenging. But if we don't take control of the thinking, faith top of the line for all of us. And it really is challenging. We do, pain pushes us, and the depression, anxiety, fear, worry, and anger. This is why we've created Fertile Hope Yoga. This is why I wrote the book, The Fertile Secret, which is really how we can find belief in ourselves. Because if you look in the mirror, that's God. So basically, when we say we don't like God, we're saying we don't like ourselves. And if you haven't read The Three Magic Words by U.S. Anderson, I highly, highly, highly recommend it, by the way. And so remember, when we chastise the universe out there, it only hurts us in there. Because the human brain converts the energy that comes in through our senses into a picture and a story. And if we tell the story of like it's miserable and worthless and horrible, boy, who wants to live that one, right? So this is where daily meditation and prayer come in for all of us. So don't give up on it, by the way. And we're here. This is where Dr. Rudialis, Don Clark, Lisa Stack, Jennifer Waters, all of our team members are really working their very, 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 very best to connect with you. And that's partly why I do my Mind Body Smiles, drkiltz.com. This is why I wrote The Fertile Secret, because first of all, I needed it more than anything, by the way, because I've been just depressed and anxious. I've had all the diseases within the body and the mind that make us worry and be fearful and regretting life. But remember, you got to put it in here, and that's what turns it around. And if you haven't read The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, highly recommend it. All right. Kim J. do an IUI and a menstrual cycle. Bleeding started 24 days ago, and I was put on letrozole to start IUI, but the bleeding just won't stop. This is where a hysteroscopy might be important, an endometrial biopsy, a course of antibiotics. Make sure there aren't any fibroids, polyps, or chronic inflammation that might be cured for a 30-day plus of antibiotic, antiviral, antifungal. Remember, we are just filled with bugs, viruses, bacteria, and yeast, and they all basically, that's why plants have created all their phytochemicals, and so I would have that take a look at. But for some people, they have hyperplasia. You got to make sure there's no precancer there. And it may be you just need a little bit longer on something to stimulate the ovary to bring enough estrogen to the environment to build a lining and help reduce that, by the way. All right. Hello. Lish Peach. Duo Fourth Heavens. Jay, hello. Let's see. Jessaray 919, laparoscopic surgery 2 years ago to remove stage 4 endo. So that's severe endo. Remember, endometriosis is a bowel condition due to chronic inflammation of the GI tract from a high plant-based diet, low-fat diet, and eating 3 to 6 times a day, which is too much carbs, and we're fermenting in our gut, which causes these problems and damages the reproductive organs, the pelvis, and remember, endometriosis can be everywhere. All right, 4-field IUIs injectable, what kind of do for prep for IVF? Would you suggest another Lapo for IVF? Sometimes, if it's been as long, it might be helpful, but don't forget letrozole and either Orlissa or Lupron. Don't forget, consider, you got to do this, the keto, and I tell you, Kiltz's keto or the baby diet, bacon, eggs, butter, beef, and ice cream. But you can do chicken and fish and oysters and everything animal-based. Don't forget the organs. And remember, meat contains more minerals and vitamins than any plant does, and the plants are anti-nutrient. They have the the factors within either the lectins or the phytins, but basically it's a phytochemical mess that's trying to get in our bodies, damages our reproductive organs, our neurologic organs. It causes MS, ALS, I go down the list. It's crazy, by the way. And again, I'm a carnivore diet eater, and I've been doing it for 6+ years-ish, plus or minus. I've started back a little bit of light exercise just because I love it, and I missed it a little bit, but I really proved a point that all my diseases went away, and I got a little bit of sore knees doing a little bit of biking the other day. So you got to keep it light, keep the heat down, by the way. So you can still do IVF without the laparoscopy, by the way. Make some embryos, and remember, add more and more anti-inflammatory processes to the mix. And if you look at our website, cnyfertility.com or drkiltz.com, you can download our magazines. I put our mega list out there that talks about our 4 immune protocols, but check out Dr. Kwok Kim, Alan Beer Institute, and don't forget leukocyte immunotransfusion, which is basically the male immune or allergy treatments that I think can be really helpful, by the way. Gambian brides, can I do frozen transfer and egg retrieval in the same cycle? You can do that. Typically, keep it a light stimulation, not a heavy stimulation, by the way. But remember, we do fresh and frozen cycles. We do day 3, day 5 and 6, even occasionally some day 2 and day 4s, with and without PGS, PGTA testing, right? Remember, it's not always 100% accurate. Remember, and it was interesting that some of this DNA that even through a blood transfusion or a bone marrow transplant, and quite likely the bugs and beasts in the plant we eat incorporate DNA and other damaging molecules in our bodies. But if you biopsy an embryo, you're getting the trophectoderm. You might get a lot of different answers out of it, which may not be the answer that you think. We've had cases where we've transferred abnormal embryos and had normal babies. So you got to look more and more out of it. It's just all interesting stuff. Norman Gleischer's published a lot of stuff on that. Oh, and don't forget our good friend Andrea Vidali does a tremendous amount of immune stuff, and also laparoscopies, hysteroscopies for endometriosis. My doctor diagnosed me with PCOS, although my cycle is regular, and I have led on my own. All right. So PCOS, metabolic syndrome, prediabetes doesn't require irregular cycles. It doesn't even require polycystic ovaries, technically, although polycystic ovarian syndrome in and of effect, but metabolic syndrome, which is a high plant-based diet, high inflammation, low-fat diet, it's 3 to 6 meals a day. It's the damaging component that is happening, I bet, even intrauterine, your ovaries and testicles are exposed to this high plant-based, high sugar, glycation. Look it up, and don't forget the phytochemicals and the oxalates. Look it up, and you'll see that our bodies are damaged more so than ever before because of our recommended healthy diet, which is actually the deadliest thing we can consume. And my bet is simply fruits, fiber, vegetables, and lean meats are deadly for us. And remember, the animals that we're eating should be grass-fed, free-range. The milk, I'm not a big milk fan, but cream, a little bit of cheese is a little bit better. But if you're going to eat anything, right, eat it less frequently. Intermittent feasting, I call it, which is 1 meal a day at night, rest and digest, and keep your exercise light, like Pilates. Miss Tia loves Pilates. And I think that the more we kind of like keep it to the light weights a little bit, that gives a lot of resistance exercise that is better. Hey, Robin, awesome and amazing. Christina Ann, how you doing? Lynette, good diet for IVF. All right. Go to drkiltz.com, look at my keto stuff. For me, it's carnivore, which is Kiltz's baby diet, bacon, eggs, butter, beef, a little bit of ice cream, not a lot, by the way, and it's 1 meal a day. But it's keto, and Miss Maria Emmerich got a new book coming out, which is going to be on carnivore. But if you look at her stuff, you learn a lot that she has to offer. But there's so many great people. Look at Ken Berry's stuff. It's really amazing. If you go to drkiltz.com, you can download both our family building guide and our keto magazine. Remember, we're Ferraris. And if you haven't read Gary Taub's stuff, Good Calories, Bad Calories, highly recommended, by the way. And I've been listening to a website on ancestral health, amazing stuff, on free-range, grass-fed meats. I go to, Sidale Farms, locally in Syracuse, also Snake River. I think it's in Idaho. Download the stuff. We get really great, amazing stuff. So diet, remember, it's a live it plan. And I used to be mostly paleo, and I learned from Andres Ianfeld and Diet Doctor. He's got some amazing stuff, amazing speakers, great videos. And you don't have to pay extra for this stuff, by the way. There's so much information. But remember, we are fat-making, fat-burning machines. We must make fat or we die, or eat fat. And remember, fat does not require insulin, but amino acids and simple sugars do. But all that stuff comes with plant phytochemicals, plant antigens, oxalates, lectins, which embed all over every nook and cranny. And these oxalate crystals are like little microscopic knives that basically just put a spear through your mitochondria and every single nook and cranny of our body. It's pretty awesome and amazing and interesting. But basically, we've been given a lie on what's a healthy diet, but it is not a high plant-based diet, especially raw. It's not good. Soak it, pressure cooker to really get that stuff out of our system, out of the food, by the way. All right. Round cells in sperm. Basically, round cells represent the immune system's inflammation. They're white cells. more than anything, but they also could be very immature sperm, which means that you're having problems with maturation of sperm, which could be something you're born with or something that was developed over time, in my opinion, due to chronic exposure of plant phytoestrogens, phytoandrogens, and these phytochemicals that are anti-nutrients, anti-reproduction, because a plant wants to be in you and kill you, stop your reproduction, because they're tired of you eating them. But they have manipulated us to plant them around the world, change their DNA so they grow everywhere and anywhere, and they're resistant to bugs, by the way. Sperm count 0.1%. Can you tell me what I need to do? All right. Sleazy Eve 305. Kiltz is keto, Conception XR for guys, LDN and CBD. Get off the treadmill, get out of the hot tub, and stop heating up your body. Remember, light, cool walks, light weights, right? You want to sort of reduce the inflammation. Remember, marijuana, smoking, vaping is not good for us. And a high plant-based, complex carbs and fiber is no good. And the bacteria and yeast, remember, salad is nature's toilet paper. It's deadly. And I believe that vegetables and fruit and fiber cause cancer. Breast cancer, prostate cancer, colon cancer. Go down the list. You will be amazed on how crazy this is. Now, don't believe me. I know it doesn't make sense. But for guys also, Clomid 25 and HCG 250 a day could be helpful. And don't forget acupuncture, light therapy, slow it down and cool it down, by the way. Natural IUI after excision surgery. So remember, let's see, I think it's Kiltz Carminati. Hello. So as long as you have open tubes, normalish sperm, regular cycles, or you're helping with ovulation, either letrozole, preferred over Clomid, or Lotus injectables, you're going to up your odds of success. Remember, have sex, IUI, those aren't working. Look at laparoscopy, reduce inflammation. Kiltz's keto is a kick-ass home run. So many babies just because you eliminate fruit, fiber, vegetables, or you went to one meal a day, you really solidly cooked those carbs down, eliminated the oxalates, reduced the complex carbs, which basically take a long time to digest. They keep your blood sugar higher longer, which causes glycation, which is the other nail in the coffin of your mitochondria. And don't forget polyunsaturated fatty acids, which are basically plant oils, which are phytotoxic, and they're bad for our bodies. They incorporate into our cells instead of the saturated animal fats, butter, fat, and cream. Coconut oil is good, by the way, but all these polyunsaturated fats basically damage our phospholipids, damage the hydrogen pump, which basically trashes our cells. And so I think that's real important to look at. Patty Kessler, basic meds, my first transfer, but miscarried. My second, third, and fourth did full immune, and they failed. Should I go back to what I did the first time? Yes. Think about simple, like letrozole, trigger, transfer, and minimize. Sometimes too much is too much. And don't forget gestational carrier surrogacy as options in the process. Always look to something different, by the way. If it's not the egg or the sperm or the embryo, there's something going on in your body. You got to just really toss it up and change it up. And my bet, remember, vegetables contain oxalates, so do peanuts, legumes, potatoes, tomatoes, which I believe are really deadly and dangerous for all of us, by the way. One time at night won't work, so multiple times a day, okay. Kiltz is keto when we're pregnant. Listen, it's the same thing. We are meant to eat less frequently, high fat. That's how we were built. Women are meant to get fat in the lower parts, and that's the fuel for the baby. So this is why bacon, eggs, butter, beef, and ice cream, it's a high fat, it's less frequently because you want to store the fat so the baby, remember, the baby is only utilizing the fat that comes from the tissue, not from your stomach. It's actually when you're eating all that stuff too frequently. Now, eat twice a day, but the 3 to 6 times is part of the inaccurate, inappropriate recommendations by the modern food companies, which are basically all run by commercial entities, industrial complexes, hospitals, pharmacies that basically want to keep us in disease. And I will tell you, I bet $1 billion it's the most amazing. Many, many, many mammals go into hibernation and don't eat while they're pregnant because eating basically has more toxins than anything you consume. Stay away from alcohol. Keep your coffee, caffeine low. Keep your even these herbal teas may not be so good for you, by the way. They have a lot of plant phytochemicals. All right, Danielle Coolidge. Took on my freshman maternity last month that you transferred for us, just miscarried. I'm so sorry that you miscarried. Let's see if I can get this up. Frozen next month. Again, letrozole trigger. Don't forget, consider laparoscopy, hysteroscopy. I've seen so many people miscarry, laparoscopy, hysteroscopy, transfer, boom, baby, deliver. They do much better. Talk to your gynecologist. And remember, endometriosis and is the cause of infertility, repetitive losses, all these things that you can't believe. Interesting, oxalate crystals may be responsible for pelvic pain, vulvar pain, joint pain, all the conditions we have. There's so many suffering that can't even have sex because of severe pain, and there's a lot of male dysfunction, rectile dysfunction, a bad sperm, low sperm count, low motility, bad morphology, all due to a standard American healthy diet, which is plant-based, 3 to 6 times a day, like we're grazing animals, and guess what? We're not. All right, Lally Crino, started my process this month. Awesome. I've done blood work, all procedures that doctor recommend. Also, my husband as well. Ready to go. You don't need to do any testing, by the way. I know. Listen, remember, we generally recommend check your metabolic, your blood counts, your hormone levels, thyroid function, prolactin, both male and female. A genetic screening can be helpful. SEMA4, LabCorp. We have lots of great companies that we're working with. Cooper Genomics for PGS testing, PAX Genomics we're working with and talking to about how to keep the prices low. And remember, our fertile financing is going to continue. We really rely on everyone. Hey, you do a service, you got to keep your payments up in order for us to keep our pricing low to help everyone in every way possible, by the way. Let's see. Hello, California, Michigan, Wisconsin, Texas, Arizona, Florida, Georgia, North and South Carolina, Virginia, D.C. area, everywhere. Oh, Maine, Mass, let's see, and where else are we going? Oh, Rhode Island, yes. Everyone out there, we're shouting a great hello, and I'm sorry if it's tough to call to get in. It takes time. I apologize. You know, we do a cycle. Sometimes we need to wait an extra month or two to get the system moving forward. But my team is amazing. We're looking to add team members, support from everyone on the CNY Fertile support team, Fertile Hope Yoga, Mind, Body, Smile. Don't forget our acupuncturists, massage therapists, tremendous number of naturopaths, yoga, and don't forget chiropractors. But remember, adding a high plant-based diet that's uncooked is not good for us. Keep it less frequently, cook it well, pressure cook it, and be less variety, no sides, no variety, no spices, because you can't have extra boyfriends or girlfriends on the side, by the way. All right, let's see. Buffalo's coming up. We got our generator going in next week. We're working on our designs. We're working on our labs coming up. Tanks are coming in. So it's coming. Hey, Ann, how you doing? Ann Wynn, how you doing? Let's see, Melissa, welcome. Tested mine now, know if they are normal or not, but 6 more frozen at least. Remember, PGS testing is not accurate, but it gives us some direction. In some cases, we do it. I just have a slightly different opinion on it than most, that's all. Extremely high in America compared to all other countries because of our genital mutilation. Absolutely. I think that all of this stuff, but remember, the biggest cause of erectile dysfunction is inflammation in the lower abdomen, in the pelvis, due to a high plant-based diet. High plant-based. Remember, some plants, infrequently, from time to time. But, it's kind of a crazy concept. Hemp seeds, by the way, really have a good component. But remember, no THC. THC, beer, wine, alcohol, deadly for us. And remember, we're the human Ferraris. We're the most valuable, expensive, irreplaceable entity of the universe. We should start treating ourselves like that, right? Be more positive. And yes, there are tough things going on out there. All right. Egg retrieval yesterday. They're watching eggs fertilized, but 2 is watching. Could still do a fresh both. Yes, you still can. Ice cream. Okay, don't touch most ice cream. My ice cream is cream, a little bit of an egg, sugar, and vanilla. I'm not saying this is for everyone. Some people are more sensitive to cow's milk. You might check out sheep or goat's milk. But remember, there's no such thing as almond milk or oat milk. They're all deadly and dangerous. Cyanide, plant phytochemicals, antigens, oxalates, and you got to look at oxalic acid and oxalates. They're not good for us, by the way. Fish, cod, bass, halibut, and salmon, by the way. Remember, but you really try a fish stock soup because you need all of it. The minerals and vitamins are in the fat. That's where it's at. And the fish-based oils. And if you haven't read, again, Good Calorie, Bad Calories, talks about Stephenson, who spent time with the Inuits. The history of food is ancient. We don't need a bunch of studies to convince us, oh my God, we better get the statistics and the data. It's out there. And, we're watching and listening to news stories, but I will bet you $1 billion if you do something comparative to Kiltz's keto or Emmerich keto, you'll feel so much better. And remember, Kiltz's keto is the baby diet. Bacon, eggs, butter, beef, and ice cream. And if you believe and have faith, you want to believe and imagine that which you desire as if it already is here, by the way. Let's see. And remember, you got to be careful about all this fish that I think is a little more toxic personally. But I think it really is. Red meat, beef is like the best. Grass-fed, that's the best. And not hay-fed in a little stall, but grass-fed, free-range, that's the best. And there's a lot of really great purveyors. And talk to your local farmer, by the way. All over this globe, we're really improving our food source, and we've got to do better because you insist on it. You've got to talk to your purveyors and talk to them about that. All right, lactose-free milk. Basically, if they've taken out the lactose-free milk, is it a cow's milk? Where's it made from? The labels, if you're allergic to lactose, cows, try another. But it really, even some people talk about raw, unpasteurized. I'm not supporting that. I don't have a lot of experience with it, but I know people talk about it. Sally Norton talked a lot about it in the oxalates. And I'll mention the podcast I listened to. I asked Will to put it online on our Facebook, Instagram, and we're coming out with our YouTube channel so we can do lives on that also, by the way, every week, Sunday nights. And I'm still going to be sharing Coffee with Kiltz, which is really, really and don't forget, intermittent fasting. I call it intermittent feasting. I recommend only 1 meal a day because that's all our body requires. I know. Oh, and salt. Salt. Oh, let's see. Citrates, calcium citrate, magnesium citrate, sodium citrate may be helpful in order to extract those oxalates. If you suddenly go keto, and Kiltz is keto, again, it's no oxalates, in the diet, you can have suddenly all these oxalates are deeply embedded in our cells, and the body's trying to get rid of them. Once you've reduced the intake, you're going to have a little bit of some toxic effects. And remember, if you're taking vegetables and making a smoothie, you're getting inundated with these oxalates, along with the phytochemicals, along with the sugar. It's deadly for us all, by the way. Let's see. Tiffany Marie, IVF retrieval transfer medications messed up my cycle, making it twice as long as before. No period. Get an ultrasound and blood test so you can see what things look like. You have a thick lining or a thin lining. What do the things look like in all of this? Let's see. Back from Sarasota. We live in the wonderful Sarasota, Florida. Updates on the Lakewood Ranch location. I'm working on it, Michelle, 8297. I've got some other, we're trying to get Buffalo done first. And if I can find a gynecologist in that area, maybe help with monitoring, let us know if you know someone that you're working with, because we want to help make it easier to get the monitoring, get your ultrasound and blood test, get it into EIVF, and help people have the most affordable journey ever, by the way. Let's see here. Jessere 919, laparoscopy surgery for stage 4 endo 2 years ago. I think we talked about that. Sometimes I'm way behind here. Leah I Life, is there anything I could do to get my testosterone down? It was 990. Now, metabolic syndrome and these plant phytochemicals and the glucose and insulin, because of that, is what stimulates all of that. So LDN, CBD, and you've got to go somewhere in a Kiltz's keto. Remember, if you're vegan or vegetarian, you got to minimize it, really cook it well, pressure cook it, and then once a day, not 3 times a day. That'll help reduce a lot of the inflammation, and those androgenic phytochemicals, I bet, are the culprit. Outside monitoring in the Orlando area. We're working with Dr. Milton McNichols, and working to get Milton and the team there working with us. Also, Dr. Paul Magarelli in Colorado Springs as a monitoring center to help us grow, and maybe we can get a center open in Colorado. We're working on these things to work with your OBGYN, your RE, that maybe want to join our team and be part of this to help with affordability, quality, access. But remember, integrating Eastern and Western medicine. And Eastern medicine begins with what you put in the mind and the mouth and how you treat the Ferrari. We are that, by the way. Let's see. Thoughts with an embryo rated 2.6. Listen, when we look at something with our eyes, and we are very prejudicial and judgmental as human beings, but I've seen the ugliest embryos become the beautiful, most amazing, super normal children, and the most beautiful, top-notch embryos become nothing. So let us stop judging an embryo as good or bad, more likely, less likely. And this is why at See My Fertility, quite often we will transfer embryos that most people throw away. But we've seen babies from those embryos. And so we give everyone a chance to transfer as many embryo, not as many at one time, but as much as they want. We don't stop people from doing as many cycles as they want. So consequently, our overall SART numbers look a little lower, because we take any embryo and put it in, no matter what the style or what it looks like, by the way. All right. How's everyone doing? Going slow and easy, cool it down. Don't forget CBD oil, no THC. It's deadly for us, by the way. And if you need a medication, obviously, Plaquenil, Prograf, Neupogen, IVIG, Humira, big guns, we use them. But if we can take as much stuff away initially, you might find some better success. And don't forget to pull out a journal and write in it. And usually I'll usually write something like, thank you, God, Creator, for this awesome and amazing day. I'm so grateful and blessed to be part of these challenges of life. And the more we speak the words to that higher power, which is, guess where? Within our minds, by the way, right? All of our minds. It's helpful. This is where the great sages of the universe. How much CBD? 500 to 1,000 milligrams per vial, 1 to 2 dropperfuls. And I just say start with 1 in the morning or at night, then go to 2. That should be enough. It's not really well titrated or known. If you're having difficulties with it, obviously back off. Some people may be allergic to these things, especially some of the carrier components. Coconut oil, I think, is a good one, especially for those who are vegan, vegetarian, who want to minimize that. Leave donor support group, found more peace with having my own thoughts versus feeling other. Yeah, I think, listen, sometimes there's too much yik yak out there. It's like, oh my God, I can't. So I will read a book, find something that really resonates. I listen to books all the time. This morning, when down in Sarasota, I put on my headphones, I listen to a great story, I ride my bike, I say hello to everyone I run into. Good morning, how you doing? That's where we need to find a better way in our lives. All right, low level mosaic, plus 21. The brother is segmental 18. Do you transfer them with what you, listen, I will transfer any embryo that you own. I'm not judgmental on those. More embryos are transferred that are never tested. Why would we transfer an embryo never tested? Because it might be abnormal. But we're not seeing all these abnormal babies born. So my bet is what we think about it is wrong. And when we begin to realize how incorrect Western medicine is, the billions and billions of dollars spent on, and nearly trillions on medications, on procedures that maybe we can overcome by simply looking at Eastern-Western integration, changing what you put in your mind and your mouth. And I will tell you, of everything I've ever learned, keto and Kiltz's keto is a home run. I didn't invent this. It's been around forever. We are likely carnivores mostly. Occasionally, when we can't find fatty, really great meat, okay, we got down on the grass and the grains and we ate the stuff from the ground. But in general, it's probably not the very best for us. Hey, thanks for hanging around as long, by the way. I hope everyone's doing well. Thank you so much. I appreciate everything you're doing. Tiffany Kenyon, what helps implantation? Reduce inflammation, keto, CBD, LDN. Don't forget PRP and HCG washes. Even if your lining is good thickness, those things may help. HCG boosters. This is where our next level of low-dose aspirin, steroids, an antibiotic, maybe an antifungal for 30 days, an antibiotic for 30 days, and an antiviral for 30 days. That laparoscopy, storoscopy again for endometriosis. And then, what's bigger guns? Plaquenil, Prograf, Neupogen, Lovenox, higher doses. And then IVIG, Humira, and human growth hormone, even as low as 3 units a day, may be enough. Let's see, we're working on Virginia. We work with Shady Grove. They're awesome, do a great job. We're grateful to everyone that helps monitor our clients because, they're, for whatever reason, they're not able to afford some of those places. And we want to help build the whole process in this country, in this globe, to have access and affordability for everyone. Oh, don't forget PRP, intra-ovarian, we do that. We're seeing a little bit of benefits, but if you're younger and have a low AMH, keto, LDN, CBD, home run, really very, very, very helpful. Skipping meal, I feel like I'm going to vomit. Okay, Allura, 1983. Remember, nausea and vomiting says don't eat. Don't put that food in my mouth because it's going to seep in all those toxins, get to my baby, and it may harm my baby. So in my opinion, I think our nature is not a grazing animal, but intermittent feasting, 1 to 2 times a day at most. And remember, if you've got the extra weight, you're already in the best shape. Don't try to eat. Take sips. And you might try bone broth, chicken broth, beef broth, and remember, it's the fat that our body requires, not sugar. We have zero requirement for sugar or a carbohydrate or plant material ever. The American Dietary Associations, all the food companies and the government have given us false information. Even the RDAs of all of our vitamins are completely inaccurate. They're based on a false and basically an idea that we want to throw all these supplements. And even if you look at the government, they don't have any information that supplements are good for us, by the way. Hey, Brazilian Blonde, how you doing? Leah, did you answer? I can't. So yes. So remember, the testosterone reduction is mostly by going anti-inflammatory, lowering glucose, get rid of the plant androgens and the phytochemicals that are likely androgenic, and that's the secret, because so many women are suffering. And remember, a high carb diet, high plant-based diet stimulates the insulin growth factors that basically stimulate androgens. It's more likely that you're eating too frequently, too much plant material, too many carbs. That's deadly for us all, by the way. Let's see. Which is a chemical with 2 PGT embryos on immune protocol. How should we think of CBD? How should we think of CBD in the next transferee? Is it also thinking of adding pentoxifylline? Another new one we haven't played with very much. I'm going to have to talk more about that. Human growth. Don't forget IVIG, Humira, and that laparoscopy, by the way. And listen, I know the diet sounds like, oh my God, Dr. Kiltz, that can't be true. But we're seeing so many people are beginning to talk about carnivore, how powerful it is. I believe it's number one. Remember, faith in food, and the Ferrari is you, by the way. PCOS, diet and vitamins. Tashlima Rosanali. Again, Emmerich and Kiltz, high fat, low to no carbs, low protein, because a high protein, high carb is equally deadly, by the way. And look at that stuff. CBD, 1 meal a day, slow it down. But remember, a little bit of biking is okay, a little bit of resistance exercise, light rowing, go for a walk in nature, enjoy life, painting, pottery, poetry, music. We've got to be being more creative and less about get rid of the news, get rid of all this gossipy stuff. And yes, that's our nature, I know it. But if you're focusing on the shit, your body is just epinephrine cortisol. Your body thinks everything you're watching is happening to you. And I know we worry about the world, but you have to take care of yourself in a more offensive model of life, which is more positively approached rather than defensive and negative and fighting, which basically brings upon the fight or flight attitude, the energy in our body, which shuts down the core, and it shuts down our reproductive nature, by the way. 1 meal a day look like, just in my opinion, I eat the same thing nearly every day. Fatty ribeye steak, little portions, and I sometimes will do a little bit of goose liver, the liver, which has all the minerals and vitamins, even more, beef liver, a little bit. That's what I eat. It's boring, I know, but listen, you can't have extra boyfriends or girlfriends with your single partner. You got to change it up. And I know that spices and sides and alcohol are deadly. You got to be careful on all of that, by the way. So I know for me, it's bacon, eggs, butter, beef, and ice cream, but Miss Tia's helping me, Miss Emmerich's helping me to bring some simple, and share your diet stuff on drkiltz.com, on our Instagram, on our Facebook, and soon to be our Kiltz's YouTube channel. Basically, It's to help us all be healthier. I'm hoping to be at the KetoCon 2020 and share my thoughts and ideas on the human Ferrari. And don't forget, check out our TEDx talk called The Human Ferrari, by the way. But I'm boring, because boring is better and brings about a baby. If you're going out to the bar and eating all sorts of crazy stuff and drinking, carousing, that's not good for making babies. You gotta be there with your partner, by the way, right? All right, Tay Brazilian Blonde, Allison Wonderland. Google it. They don't have a VA office. I don't know where that is. Oh, Virginia. We don't yet. We're working on it. But again, we work with radiologists, with LabCorp, with your local docs in order to help on the process. But you have to be really patient. My global team is amazing, but it takes time. And don't forget the correspondence. And we're really working to get everyone moving forward. Don't forget natural stimulation, low-dose letrozole stimulations, and a mini cycle where you make fewer eggs, fewer embryos, one transfer. Boom, so many people are having value and benefits from that. And don't forget to talk to your gynecologist about laparoscopy, hysteroscopy. McNichols in the Orlando area, yes, that's what we're working with. It's got a new office hopefully coming up. Keto helps men and women, babies, boys and girls, adolescents, adults, every age. Talk to your mother, your father, your grandmother, your grandfathers. Every age will benefit because we are human Ferraris. We are lions, not pigs. And I will tell you that every disease goes away. Again, check out drkiltz.com. Share it with your friends and family. It's free. Just go to my website, download it. I'm not here to try to make money from this. I'm here to share so that you can say, hey, Dr. Kiltz, my colitis, Crohn's irritable bowel is gone. And if you don't tell your gastroenterologist about this, and just even if they say don't do it, you do it. Fiber is deadly for us. Bacteria and yeast, deadly. Oh yes, the CNY CBD, boy, by the way, you get it online with us. It's CB Distillery is the brand, but get it with us, you get a great discount. We pass around the savings, by the way. MQ954, just visualize CMI fertility, Miami area, working on it. But again, we're all working together, and a lot of the information we're giving you is to say to your doc, I want to do more IUIs, I want to do a laparoscopy, I want to do these things, even though you say it doesn't work. What's the harm in changing what you're doing? Because remember, when you change what you're doing, you drop insanity out of the way and you move on to a new idea. And if you haven't read James Allen, Mind is the Master, you must. And this is what I read a lot. I do a lot of Christian, Buddhist, Islamic, Hindu, Judeo reading. It's all because it's from our humanness. For thousands and thousands and thousands a year, we are all learning together. And you guys teach me quite a bit, by the way. Let's see, CBD oil is anti-inflammation. It's a high omega-3 fatty acids, fish oil, coconut oil. Try 2 tablespoons a day. I put a little butter into my coffee from time to time, a little in tea, full cream, by the way. All right, Odell Mess, FSH, how to lower FSH and increase AMH. Basically, Kiltz's keto, really critical CBD, LDN, maybe a little human growth hormone. All right, 8 o'clock. I'm going to bed soon. I got a few text messages, but I may have to wait till tomorrow. I can only do so much. If you don't get a hold of me and you need me, call the office. Go through the call center. Send a correspondence. Share this with everyone. God bless. I'll see you guys next week. Have an awesome, amazing holiday, even with the challenges. Focus. God bless you guys. Take care.